What started off as a kind of disappointing day trying to find Dollar Tree treasures turned into an awesome adventure. So stay tuned so you can find out why. I'm Ingrid Carlsen, and I am so very blessed that you're here with me today. If you're not already following, this is a great time for you to pause and hit that follow button and then hit the bell so you get notified anytime a new video comes out. My daughter was meeting a friend that was in from out of town, about an hour away from where we live. And so I was excited that I'd get to hit some Dollar Trees maybe, and I'd find some good treasures. And I was really disappointed because the first Dollar Tree I went to, I found nothing good at all. And then I got to this one, and the only thing that I could see that I thought was worthwhile were these wall decals, which I think they had a really big array of the decals that I don't have at my local Dollar Tree. And I think these would be really great on the cover of journals. They could also go in between. I also think that you could stick the decals on some cardstock, fussy cut around them, and add them in as pages. And that would look really pretty, especially like the birds or the florals. I think that would really be pretty peeking through the papers. That being said, it wasn't what I was really expecting, and I was kind of bummed out. Honestly, I started recording, but I figured I wasn't going to even use the footage because it was kind of a bust to me, and I was really disappointed. But before I left, I decided to give it one more try and go through each aisle slowly and just stop, slow down, and give every little nook another go around. I started by going back over to the school supply section, or where all the books and notebooks and stuff were, and look at this mess. Like, you can't see anything. And I think a lot of times when you see this, or at least for me, when I see this disarray, it makes me think that there's nothing there. It must be junk if people were treating it like this, like they were just throwing things back. But I'm so glad that I stopped, because I found all of the papers that I've been looking for. I had been looking for these sales orders, which are so awesome. They come with 2 copies each. There's 50 pages in the pack. And these would be so great in a journal. And then this, which I would call a ledger, and it's in this green color with like green lines, and it also has red lines. Another really great piece for adding as pages inside of your journal. But I think the one that I was the most excited about were these time cards. I have seen these, and I've seen friends get them, but I have not had any at my store, and I've gone to look for them. And so I'm so excited that I went back in. They also had this notebook, which I have picked up previously, and I absolutely love using this one. I think I may have shown these before, but my Dollar Tree doesn't carry them all the time. They're the legal size file folders, and these are a great get to make journal covers and to put inside of your journals. At this moment, I didn't even care that the first store was a bust, and I was so elated. But I did go and get this pack of spray bottles from the craft section, as well as I'm showing you some instant coffee here. And you're going to want to stick around to see what we come up with this. I'm so excited. So look what I got. I picked up the time cards, the sales order, and the columnar pad. Is that how you say that? So I will show these to you a little bit more in depth. So these come with 25 sheets. This one is probably like the least bang for your buck just because you're only getting 25 sheets of it. But it's really nice. It's double-sided. It's really nice. It's kind of like the Korean or Japanese paper that's like has a smooth texture to it. It's not very porous, or at least it doesn't feel that way. It's hole punched and it's green and has like these like darker green lines as well as these like red lines. So I think this is really great. The time cards are fabulous. These are fabulous. Like if you can get these are fabulous. So in this one you get 50 sheets. They're 3.38 inches by 8.87 inches. And we're gonna find out right now if they are attached or if they're all loose. Okay, so they're all loose. So if you wanted to, you could, while you have them like this, I would take binder clips and bind it on both sides. Make sure that your edges are nice and flat, and then you could put a light layer of white glue on the top. And I believe I have a video doing this. I'm not 100% sure, but if I do, it'll be listed down below. So, and then you can keep them all in one place, or if you like them loose, then keep them loose. Oh, and they're nice. They're kind of a thinner cardstock. So the front has your days of the week, and then it's got AM in and out. Up here it says name, number, pay period, ending, and then signature. And then on the back, it has a print. Sorry, Barkley's upset. We just changed stuff around in the house, and so he doesn't know what to do. He's not allowed upstairs right now. So the two big dogs are like in timeout. So hopefully he'll stop. Okay, so this has overtime hours. You've got number of dependents, earnings, amount, regular, overtime, hourly, gross income, deductions, Social Security, Medicare. I mean, you name it. So this is actually great if you have a small business, but these are really great to have for crafting. And then on this one, you've got 50 carbonless sets. So meaning it's a carbon copy, but without the carbon. So I don't know if you know what the carbon is, but there was times where it would have like a piece of like, it was carbon. So what you'd find like kind of, I don't know if it's, I guess graphite and carbon are two different things. But anyways, it was like a gray paper. And if you touched it, you got it on your fingers like lead, like graphite. So this eliminates that. But if you put something in between and you press down on this, and I don't think I have a pen next to me. Oh, here, I have a pencil. So let's say I just do a 1, 0, and then a dash. It will transfer onto this. And so this is great for businesses because then they have the merchant copy and then they have a customer copy. But these are really great for using inside of your junk journals. And these are 5.4 inches by 8.4 inches. So all of these are great. Then other thing I picked up were the two little bottles of spray, and sometimes they have these, sometimes they don't. I would say if you find them at yours, get them because it's a really good deal. You get two for $1.25. I also did find them in the toiletry section, and it came with one sprayer, and it was like longer. I'll link it, or I'll show you the video here if I have it. And you only got one, and then you got the other little canisters. It's for traveling, obviously. So, so anyways, I think this is a really great deal, especially if you're going to use the sprayer. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take, I have this makeshift box. It's a sprayer box so that my surface won't get won't get dirty, even though it's got holes on the bottom. So I'm curious to see how clean I can actually keep my, I think we made this on a live once, or maybe I had it in my stories. This was a while ago, at least a year ago. So, okay, we're gonna put that down. And Tim Holtz has one of these where you can buy it and it collapses and it's nice. It's a, what kind of material would I say? I don't know, but it like wipes off easily, and so great. But if you can't find it or you don't have it, you can make your own using a box. Okay, so now we're going to do a couple of different things, but I'm going to start with the time cards, and we'll start with one for now. So what we can do is we can use our sprayer bottle, and somebody had suggested that I use this stuff in the sprayer bottle, so we can try that. You could also just do a water and coffee ratio. So what I would do is I'd put maybe a little bit of coffee in here, maybe like to right here, and then fill the rest like up to here. Probably not fill it all the way because sometimes that makes messes, but fill it up. Actually, I would start with halfway with hot water, and then just give it a little like swirl like this so that the coffee crystals dissolve into the water, and then we can spritz it. But I also want to try this out, and I didn't show you this today, but I have shown you the Dollar Tree paints, and I only have 2 colors. I do like the paints. I have them in white and in this pink. So we're going to try the same method, but we're going to do some hot water and the paint. But in this case, I'm going to do the water first so that the paint doesn't sink in. And then I'm also going to use something, whatever I have on my desk, maybe the end of a paintbrush to dissolve it. So let me go and get some hot water. Okay, I'm going to, let's actually move the time card. I'm going to go ahead and pour in some hot water. So you can kind of see how much water I'm coming up, almost to half. And then I'm going to do a little less. I'm going to do about 1/3 of the way up. And we're going to put in, because I've never done this, so we're going to see. Hang on, I'm just shaking this paint. I always forget to shake it, and then I get it's like the ketchup bottles that you get the goop. Okay, so I did like a big squeeze, maybe 2 squeezes in there, and grab my paintbrush, and I'm just gonna mix this. I'm gonna try to get this bottom, might end up having to add some more water, but we'll see. The great part about doing something like this is that it's all in the consistency that you want. So if you want a richer color, you add more acrylic. If you want a lighter color, then you add more water. And that's why I wouldn't fill it up, because then this gives you room for error. So if you need to add more water, you can. If you need to add more paint, you can. And the acrylic should stick. I just realized there's a bunch on the side right here, so I'm going to try to, I'm actually going to use the brush. Nope. Okay. I found that with these nozzles, it's better to swirl your canister instead of shaking it vigorously, because it won't clog up your nozzle as much. I don't know how true that is, but okay, now we're going to take it Probably gonna need a couple pumps. Okay, so it looks like my nozzle has like, it's spraying off to the side and not in the middle, which is kind of funny. Do you see that? It's spraying like in a circle and not to the side. So you can do that. And then, so this is pretty pigmented. I'm gonna wipe it off. And show you this is what we have. I would think that maybe less color. Where's my hot water? So I'm gonna fill this up. And I'll give it a good swirl. So I'm gonna grab a dictionary page and try it on that before I ruin any other time cards. And that's kind of more of the color that I was looking for. And you can still dab this one and get it a little less. That's actually really pretty. This looks almost like an avocado dye. And so imagine the possibilities are endless, because not only can you use the colors that they have there, which you've seen, I've showed that they have a good array, a good amount of colors. That was like a Porky Pig. He's like, blah, 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 blah. That's something else. Anyways, a good amount of colors, but then you can mix your own colors. So if I wanted this to be more of a light pink, then I can add some white to this, and that would be pretty, but this color is gorgeous. I'm going to dry it off a little, and then we'll do a time card. The other nice thing about this is that it is only on one side, so the other side, it's got just like a little bit, and that could be that it's wet and it like seeped through, but that's nice if you wanted, like if you were making an envelope and you wanted the inside to be pink and not the outside, or vice versa. I think that's really neat. So now let's go ahead and take our time card, and we're gonna do the same thing. So again, same thing. I'm going to just dab off the bits I don't want. So you can see, you can get it saturated in color, or you can do just a faint color, and I think this is great. So let's go ahead and try out my good stuff. I'm gonna swirl it in here, and hopefully it'll be mostly mixed. I just used it, so I think we're good. And I think that this would be even pretty. I had to not talk while I was pouring. I think this would be even pretty on top of the pink. And so honestly, if you wanted to, for the price, if you can find these two for $1, then you could have your colors, like you had your color shine or your, like you had your color shine or your distress stains or whatever, and have them lined up in color. Or if you don't have that, just make a small amount and then just wash out your sprayer every time you have a new color. Okay, so this one is not spraying like that. This one's spraying in a, like a stream. So I'm gonna dab it, but not a lot. And we'll go ahead and dry. Whatever you're using to spray down, because I can see there's some pieces that are wet here, so when you flip it over. But I absolutely love this. Look at how good these little dots are, and then you have like little dots of pink. Also, my box did not hold up. I don't know if you can see it here, but I definitely have some splatter, so this definitely needs, and I might go ahead and adhere it, because when I made this, it was to be downstairs when I had the laundry room as my space, and I didn't want to have this box out all the time. And so the point was to have something that was more temporary, that you could close down like the Tim Holtz one. And so I might go ahead and add something to the sides, because you can kind of see there's a, right there, there's a space. And so it's because the box has, right here, it's buckled, and if it was originally, it was laid flat, and so it was fine. But anyways, so now we can make all different kinds of colors and do all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to take this one and I'm going to just spray it with this real quick. This sprayer's a lot better than that one, which is interesting because they came from the same little batch. And I'm going to allow this to dry like this. I could even mess with some of it and see how it dries. Okay, so we're gonna let this dry and I'll be right back. I went ahead and cleaned out my mixture that I had my good stuff in, and I just wanted to show you that you can get it pretty clean. So the nozzle has like a little bit of residue, but that's okay. I poured my liquid back into the original container, and then I filled this with hot water. I put the spritzer on and then just did a few spritzes until it started running clear, and that's all we had to do. So now I'm going to go and grab some more hot water, and we're going to make another color. This time I decided I'm going to use this color, which I absolutely love. It's beige, and the brand is Top Notch from Joann's. And I might need to darken this up just a tad, because you can see it's like kind of parchment color, but we'll get there. And I believe this one is more runny, so we'll see if we need to add more. Let me move my papers out of the way. Oh, and actually, before we do that, no, let's do that, and then I'll show you while this is mixing, since my water is still hot. Oops. I did a better job pouring the water last time. Ooh, it's hot, hot. And this is just hot tap water. So that was just one squeeze. It looks like coffee, like a latte. Like a very milky latte. So that might be a little light for us. So I do have some raw umber here. I can see some of it. I don't know if it's catching on screen, but there's some like right here on the edge. And I'm just gonna grab some book page to try it out on. If you hear that little rustling sound, of course that's Barkley. He's upstairs. He's out of his timeout. So that's pretty light. I actually don't even really see color. Okay, so that kind of gives you a reference for color. So we definitely want it to be a little darker. So I'm going to squeeze in a little more. Even though that is a very nice light color as it's sitting or settling. I do feel like a mad scientist. So you can kind of see there the color. I think that would be really pretty. And now the nozzle is spraying in a circle like the pink one did. So I wonder if it's the paint when it does that with the paint. So that is a pretty color. I'm gonna add just like a tiny bit of raw umber, or you could use any dark brown. Did I shake this? Okay, there we go. And whereas that one is very thin, this one is very thick. So I don't know if that's catching on camera, but it's literally a drop. Because I don't want to darken it too much. I just want to get it a little darker. Maybe just one more drop. Oh. I think that's a good color here. Let's and you can definitely see the color is darker than it was here. It's more concentrated. I think you could even go darker, but I'm going to show you a comparison. So this was some coffee dyed paper. And so this is definitely darker. This is more of like maybe a tea dye. So let's try a book page. like a little lighter color. I think this is actually the perfect tone. Look at that little foxing, love it. So now let's grab one of our time cards and test it out. This time I'm going to test it out on the back side since we haven't done that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe it off of this so that we get kind of an overall color. And then I'm going to go in and allow some of this like little drips. And let's try it. That is the perfect color. That's so beautiful. So let's go ahead and do, I'm going to grab both the white and the yellow copy. And you know, one of my favorite parts about these are these stamped numbers. So I think these little bottles work better if you're upright instead of going down. So I'm going to tilt this upward. And definitely wear protective clothing because I could feel this like misting back at me. For the white, it's gorgeous. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I'm so excited about this because look how fast that was. I don't need to wait for it to dry. And for those of you that have said like you don't like the smell of coffee, this is a great alternative. You can see here that this is definitely darker than the areas where it has not hit, but it's definitely not going to be like very, very deep. Now, again, you can just keep changing the color to what it suits you. So let's try the green. And I'm gonna leave the yellow there so I can get a little more on there. And I am going to tilt it forward. it's predominantly dry. And you still get that the crinkle effect. You can even see the wrinkling, like the little wrinkles inside of there. So good. Oh, and you can definitely see where the paint is. So it definitely makes a difference in the color. And then I will show you these done. As well. See, these came out really good. Now, my good stuff does have a little bit of shimmer, I believe, in it. So you can see just a tiny, tiny bit of iridescent when you move it around. Specifically on this, like you can see it right here. And so, which is your favorite color? Did you like doing a color? Did you like doing the latte color? And then what colors would you use this for? Like, what are some of the colors that you could now use that you didn't have in your arsenal before? You have turquoise and teals and Prussian blues, you have French blue. I mean, really, the sky is the limit, and you can get a lot of these colors, like I said already, at Dollar Tree. You can also buy just a few of these and then mix them and get even more colors. So if you get your 3 primary colors, which are yellow, blue, and red, you can, and then I would say white and black if you can, then you can make pretty much any color under the rainbow. You just have to try it. Just be creative, make little batches. Don't make big batches. That way, if you don't like the color, let's say you do something like this and that's way too pink. You did not want that, or you didn't even want that tone of pink. Then don't make that big jar, because then it'll go to waste. Instead, make something smaller. Like, I think that might have even been too much as it is, and experiment to see what you like. So I hope that you guys enjoy this video. I hope that it encouraged you to, number one, go to Dollar Tree even when it looks like it's a mess, even when you are at your second store and you can't find anything. Everything that you have found you've already seen, or you can't see it with new eyes. You're watching videos and you're seeing people pull out brand new projects and your Dollar Tree doesn't have it. So be patient, it's okay, and just look for the gems. They're always hidden. They are always hidden in the cabinets. I really almost passed all of these up. I was about to walk out and I said, first I was like, wow, this, is such a mess. And then right when I had kind of given up in my head, then I decided to go back, and that's when I found these papers. And I've been waiting. I've seen people have gotten these like months ago, and there are no Dollar Trees near me. This one was over an hour away. I just happened to be out of town or out that way, and I was able to go see it, but I wouldn't have found it if I would have just looked at the mess. So I hope that encourages you to just, keep treasure hunting there. Don't look at it as, oh, it's shambles and they don't have what I want. Just go with an open heart and an open mind. And number two, I really hope that this video just encourages you to go play. Get your hands dirty. Go and play. So you don't have time to do anything creative today. You have 5 minutes, and it didn't even take 5 minutes, to add some hot water to a bottle, add a little bit of color, and try it out. And that's all. So if that's all you can muster today, if you're just having a terrible day, you don't feel good, or you just have no energy and your body's aching, or whatever it is, give it 5 minutes. And this is a little mood booster in itself to see that you just created something awesome that you're going to be able to use over and over and create lots of new projects with. So I pray that you are blessed today, and I thank you so much for being here. I thank you for all of your support and your love, and it really does mean the world to me. And today, if no one has told you, you are amazing, you are beautiful, and you are loved. Until next time, love you. Bye.